Hello, everyone. Welcome to another DCU Daily. Here we are on Thursday, one more day until the end of the week, and we have a wonderful little show for you guys today. Not a ton of DCU news, unfortunately, but that's beside the point. We still have quite a bit of regular news for you, so we're going to be getting into all sorts of stuff. Like we have quite a bit of movie talk / TV talk madness / tomfoolery. We got some Odyssey stuff, Tom Cruise's new movie, Hugh Jackman's new movie, Guy Ritchie's new Sherlock show, Anaconda, and a rare YouTube W in regards to AI. Then we have some, updates in regards to the WBD Warner Brothers Discovery merger. Not a ton, but we're going to be talking about it a little bit. And then, of course, we have MCU Weekly, which is really not MCU Weekly anymore. It's more just like MCU news. But we're going to be talking about Chris Evans returning for Avengers Doomsday. Then, a lot of fans seem to be disappointed that the Doomsday trailer did not appear before Avatar 3. There is a reason for that, so we'll get into that. And then, of course, we're talking Wonder Man. New trailer / clip was released on the net for very little marketing that they are doing for the show. And then, of course, we have tons of rumors, tons of Daredevil talk, and Fantastic Four talk. So we're getting into that. And then our wonderful quick hits, tons of stuff in regards to that. And then a couple of bits of DCU news, more of what did Gunn say, some Fortnite news, and some Supergirl stuff. So all of that and more we will be getting into the show proper. So let's truly get into it after this wonderful little intro. So see you guys there.
It doesn't seem to matter what I do. I'm always the number two.
All right, mister, I need to paint my abs on to get nominated. You don't see Robert Downey doing that.
You're kidding.
You're
kidding. I can't open the envelope without the...
Warner Brothers is heading back into the Matrix with a new movie in the works.
Wonder what other surprises are in store.
I want to be Bruce Wayne.
I like that. You're gonna love me.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see chords.
Right there.
You look ridiculous.
Well, not no more, he don't.
What, dude? I can barely understand you. Your accent's insane.
What the world needs now.
Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow.
But welcome to the show, guys. Yeah, we don't see the news one. We're heading straight into movie talk madness. So, of course, we're going to be getting into that. I'm your host, John. Lovely to see you all. And movie talk madness time, as well as TV talk tomfoolery. Going to be getting into all of that. So, all that fun. But got to say hello to the people. Monique, Caleb, spelling honka honka wrong, and then Emo Nerd Girl. I'm doing okay. Could be better. Somebody smashed into my car in my own driveway, and they left without doing anything. So hopefully I can get that done and over with. But yeah, people suck. Not a surprise. But let's get into movie talk, man. Let's get into something a little bit more exciting, and that's the Odyssey. So the Odyssey, the very, very strange looking poster, hypes up 6-minute prologue playing in theaters alongside the Avengers Doomsday trailer. So, So, as we all know, the next film in the Avatar saga is coming out proper tomorrow. It's in previews right now, Thursday previews. And then it's going to be opening tomorrow, Avatar Fire and Ash. It's arriving in theaters across the globe. And obviously the teaser is attached, but that's not the only thing. For select IMAX screenings, the 6-minute prologue for Nolan's upcoming mythical epic, The Odyssey, is going to be appearing. Now, it seems like it's already leaked onto the internet as of right now, and it's going to be probably getting a proper online release either next week or sometime next month. So, The movie will follow Odysseus in the wake of the Trojan War as he makes a decade-spanning journey home to his wife Penelope. Along the way, Odysseus faces all manner of trials and tribulations. Emma Thomas said it best when we first announced the project. It's foundational. There's a bit of everything in it. I mean, it truly contains all stories. Well, when all stories kind of go back to this, that makes sense. But yeah, it's very exciting. This poster, which is very weird looking, it looks like I don't know if this is supposed to be like a spine or like a skeleton. It looks like it doesn't match up with the rest of the poster. It's a good poster. This looks weird to me. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be like a spine or something, or like metals. I don't know. It doesn't look like it matches with the rest of the poster. Like the rest of it is like this blue hue, and then you have this weird fucking thing right here. But for the most part, cool poster. And if you want to try to avoid the trailer that leaked on the prologue that leaked onto the internet, then try to avoid it and go see it in IMAX. Since I'm not seeing it in IMAX, I'm seeing Avatar: Fire and Ash tomorrow in Dolby. That makes sense. Indeed. The Odyssey hype is in fact rising. It's fine. People are assholes. I'll survive. But that's beside the point. But the Odyssey, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It looks like it was like copy pasted there. I don't know if it's supposed to be like bones, like it means something, but it looks like it like shouldn't be there. Like it doesn't fit with the rest of the poster. I think it's supposed to be metal or something. I don't know. Like maybe it's like metals that he hooks onto his helmet. I don't fucking know. It just looks weird, and it doesn't like, because I was looking at this poster. I'm like, oh, this looks cool. I'm like, but what the fuck is this thing? I don't get that. What the fuck is that? Maybe somebody can answer the question in the chat or online. But yeah, Nolan symbolism, I guess. It's bones, and that means something. I don't know. But the lack of lighting is taking me out of it. Yeah, it's weird looking. But that's not the only thing that we should be getting pumped for. But Tom Cruise is doing a new film called Digger with Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu. We did talk about that maybe a couple months ago, and it sets an October 2026 release date. But it is the evocative title Digger. A first poster and teaser for the Warner Brothers and Legendary Entertainment film was revealed today, with a tagline describing the movie as a comedy of catastrophic proportions, and it will release on October 2nd. Obviously, we don't know a ton about it because it's only like a quick little title teaser kind of thing. But the only thing we really know about it is Cruise stars as a character named Digger Rockwell. And Warner Brothers provided a logline that says the most powerful man in the world who embarks on a frantic mission to prove that he is humanity's savior before the disaster he's unleashed destroys everything. So it's like kind of both a devil and Jesus kind of story. But yeah, that's definitely not going to feed Tom Cruise's ego at all. But he's hit and miss for me, but I like some of his stuff. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a huge highlight. But but for the Tom Cruise film, John Goodman, Jesse Plemons, Sandra Hüller, Riz Ahmed, Emma Darcy, all gonna all gonna be in the film. Digger is Cruise's first film since signing a deal to develop and produce theatrical films with Warner Brothers Discovery in January, and his last project with the studio was a decade ago. So with all of that, it's very interesting that they have Warner Brothers on the getting bought out by Netflix, and then you have Tom Cruise, who is a starch like defendant of the cinematic experience. So it's interesting how we'll deal with that. So very true, very true. But yeah, this is very exciting. I think this is pretty cool. So yeah. Next up for Movie Talk Madness is Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's talking sheep tracked down his murderer in The Sheep Detectives, and it's going to star also Emma Thompson, Nicholas Braun, and Nicholas Galitzine, the new He-Man co-star in the film that Amazon MGM releases in theaters next spring. So, yeah. This is essentially this is just Shaun the Sheep. It's literally just Shaun the Sheep. Like, I feel like this is essentially a Shaun the Sheep movie that has no connection to Shaun the Sheep. Like, it's like Shaun the Sheep in everything but name and animation. So yeah, I mean, I'd watch it. That's such an appraise. I really love it. A talking sheep murder mystery. It's like Dr. Doolittle meets Shaun the Sheep meets Sam Spade. I don't know. It sounds bonkers. I'd watch it. I like Hugh Jackman, even though he's an asshole, but I'd watch it. Sounds fun, but it's literally just Shaun the Sheep. That's all it is. It's just Shaun the Sheep. Who murders Shep? Well, they're gonna have to figure that out because that's what the whole movie's about. Who murders a sheep shepherd, farmer, whatever it is. So they gotta figure that out. So you just have to watch the movie, I guess. But next up, we have Guy Ritchie's Young Sherlock show. Guy Ritchie reimagines Holmes as an adolescent sleuth in Prime Video mystery series. So we won't get Sherlock Holmes 3, but we will get this. I assume that this is connecting to the Robert Downey Jr. film. I assume that this is in the same continuity, if I were to take a guess. But yeah, this sounds like fun. It also has Donal Finn, Zin Seng, Joseph Fiennes, Natasha McElhone, Max Irons, and Colin Firth. So yeah, it's I mean, say what you will about his Sherlock Holmes films. A lot of people say they're like schlocky blockbusters, and they have Sherlock Holmes not be played by a Brit, so there's that. But but I'm kind of all for this. Like, I whether it does or it doesn't take place within his like Sherlock Holmes chronology, I'd watch this. This sounds like fun. And I think Guy Ritchie has done a lot of great work. I liked Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I've heard The Gentleman, both the movie and the show, are very good. He kind of pumping out movies as fast as he can. But yeah, I still think he's kind of hit and miss now, but I think he does some good work, and this sounds very exciting, so I'd watch it. Mobland. Did Guy Ritchie do Mobland? I mean, I literally just caught my parents watching it, so I've heard it's great. Like Tom Hardy is usually excellent in everything he's in. So yeah. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I think this sounds cool. I think this sounds cool. And what if it does or doesn't, I'm excited for it. I'd watch it. But the next thing I'm not excited for is Anaconda, the upcoming meta reboot of one of the horror franchises nobody really cares about. The first film is kind of considered schlocky crap, schlocky B movie crap, and then nobody really even knows that there were in fact sequels when there are. I think there were like 3 or 4 sequels to Anaconda, but now they're rebooting it, and it's going to be a meta reboot where it stars people trying to remake Anaconda. And yeah, I watched the trailer. The fact that they use Anaconda by fucking Sir Mix-a-Lot is just all right. Okay, very dumb. I like Jack Black. I like Paul Rudd, but this kind of looks like crap. But according to first reactions, we'll see. A lot of people had written this one off as a lazy attempt to squeeze a bit of life out of a long dormant IP and a lackluster trailer that didn't exactly do much to sway opinions. Maybe low expectations played a part, but those who have seen Anaconda seem to have a lot of fun with the meta horror comedy, which is being held as one of the most pleasant surprises of the year. Though not every post is positive, it sounds like the decision to lean into the sillier elements of the concept definitely worked in the movie's favor. Stars Jack Black and Paul Rudd are said to make for a funny and engaging double act, and it sounds like the meta and gently satirical elements also work very well. The full reviews may tell a different story, of course, but have a read through the first reactions below. And Sony has also released a final trailer for the movie, which features the return of a certain cast member from the original Anaconda. So you'll laugh until you're blue in the face, blah, 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 blah. That's just Sony Pictures' ad of it. Peter Gray says Anaconda, being one of the funniest movies of the year, was not on my bingo card, but here we are. Spiritually aligned with Tropic Thunder, this is very much a love letter to film fanatics. Black and Rudd are dynamite. Selton Mello, the shock MVP. Stay for the credits. Oh man, the Anaconda movie is comedically unhinged and holds nothing back for the laughs. What starts as a surprisingly soft, almost sincere tale about dreamers quickly mutates into an over-the-top good time that knows exactly what it is, packed with gags, jump scares, and wild blah, blah, blah. Anaconda is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time, and easily one of my favorites of the year. Anaconda is just silly and charming enough to recommend. The Saving Silverman reunion you didn't know you needed. Jason Biggs is uncredited as the Snake. A light satire about Hollywood's current obsession with reboots and how they all have to be about something now. Anaconda wasn't bad. The first act is genuinely funny with Black, Rudd, and Zahn killing it, but once it turns toward action horror, it starts to wobble and never 100% recovers. The aging and regret angle is the most interesting part. I just wish the movie knew what it was. Really didn't care for Anaconda. It's meta, but the jokes fall flat. You think that many talented people, at least some of the jokes would land, but alas, ridiculously funny. Anaconda is the most fun you'll have this Christmas. Anaconda doesn't quite make the most of its creative meta premise, but it's a lot of fun. Anaconda is easily the most surprising movie of the year for me, and the such. So, if you guys were excited for this, then maybe this will, this might mean something for you, even though first reactions aren't be all and end all, because sometimes first reactions are ridiculous, like fucking like Birds of Prey, people saying that was like the best DC movie since The Dark Knight, and it's like, bro, seriously. Shazam is right there. But if you're excited for this movie, then maybe this is like, oh, maybe it'll get you excited. But if you're not excited, maybe this intrigues you, or maybe you're still not excited. I don't know. But yeah, Tropic Thunder seems like a good. I mean, Jack Black being in it certainly helps. Even Nerd Girl said it looks good, so yeah, I think that's pretty good for them. But yeah, if you're excited, cool. If you're not, then maybe don't bother. But as I said before, a rare YouTube W. YouTube shuts down channels using AI to create fake movie trailers watched by millions. So YouTube has terminated 2 prominent channels that used artificial intelligence to create fake movie trailers. Deadline can reveal. The Google-owned video giant has switched off Screen Culture and KH Studio, which together boasted well over 2 million subscribers and more than 1 billion views. The channels have been replaced with the message, "This page isn't available. Sorry about that. Try searching for something else." Screen Culture and KH Studio were approached for comment. They are based in India and Georgia, respectively. Yeah, that makes sense. Earlier this year, YouTube suspended ads on Screen Culture and KH Studio following a deadline investigation into fake movie trailers plaguing the platform since the rise of generative AI. So even though they were called parody, they were like, no, it's not. YouTube's position is that the channel's decision to revert to their previous behavior violated its spam and misleading metadata policies. This resulted in their termination. The monster was defeated. One YouTuber told Deadline following the enforcement action. Now, does this make YouTube a decent video service? No, not really, considering that YouTube has also using their own AI to terminate channels based on pretty much bullshit causes and pretty much banning channels for literally no reason because their own generative AI sucks in terms of flagging, videos. So, yeah. So while this is a W for YouTube, they themselves are also part of the problem, considering they use AI and their use of AI is also fucking over creators. So yeah, sure, this is a rare W, but it's still like it's like removing a pebble from the rock that is, the problems with YouTube. So, I think this is, yeah, it's cool, but like YouTube still sucks. So, oh no, they got to me. But it's just that YouTube, there's also a multitude of problems that they have not talked about themselves. So there is that as well. So just keep that in mind. Of course, that's it for the movie talk madness side of things. We have a little bit more in regards to the bidding war. Yes, I know we don't really want to talk about this, but we are going to talk about this because we've got to keep you up to date. And there's not a lot of it. There's not a lot of it. So, in terms of that, in show of force, Netflix chiefs visit the Warner Brothers lot amid battle with Paramount for Studios' future. So yeah, this is pretty fucking funny considering that it's just I just think this is so funny because I mean, as I was saying before, like Paramount prompted this. They forced WB to be like, okay, fine, we'll sell the company. And then when they put it up for a bidding sale, they didn't even go with Paramount on it. And now, like, while David Ellison is like having a fucking rich guy temper tantrum, David Zaslav was like, here's our studio lot, here's our shit. Isn't that great, guys? And it's just like, it's so funny. It's so like, honestly, I still really don't like Netflix owning Warner Brothers. It's overall, I still think it's a terrible decision, but like honestly, fucking rich trust fund fuckwad David Ellison having a fucking temper tantrum over not getting what he wants is honestly, it makes it all worth it. It almost makes it all worth it because it's so fucking funny seeing him absolutely lose his shit because he can't fucking control the news he always wanted. So um yeah, it's just yeah, I mean it's like either like getting burned with acid or burned with fire. It's like it's gonna kill you either way, but one is slightly less bad than the other. Um Here's our copy machine super fast. The Paramount CEO is becoming. What do you mean becoming? He is $1 million. I'll give you another $1 million. I'll give you another $1 billion. Just oh my god, it's just so funny. It's just so fucking funny. But that's not the only thing we have. But Warner Brothers Discovery board chair says choosing Netflix over Paramount was not a hard choice. And I just love how like WBD and Netflix are just like moving on, and like Paramount's are like, we'll have another bid. We'll have another. Here's another $20 billion from Saudi Arabia. Here. We swear, please, please, please. Anyway, it's just god. Um, exactly. I guess Netflix bought WB so they can have theater runs as well, since Netflix isn't a theater release. But I mean, we'll talk about that at a much later date. Hi all, happy birthday! It is Steven Spielberg's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Spielberg. We all love you and appreciate you. In this chat, but and yes, the Ellisons can fuck off. But hello, Tony. Nice to see you. But next up, Warner Brothers Golden Parachutes revealed what David Zaslav and C-suite will get in a deal. The CEO stands to gain $567 million if a deal is sealed to sell the WB empire. With longtime Lieutenant Gunnar Weidenfelds, we'll see $144 million in cash and stock considerations if a transaction closes. So this is, the rich get richer, all that fun stuff. But but yeah, it's the rich get richer. Oh, that's awesome. Love to see it. Minority Report's a great movie. Munich, I have not seen it, but I've heard it's great. Would you buy Lionsgate for? I wouldn't buy Lions. I mean, Lionsgate's okay. They're um, but yeah, rich get richer. Not surprising. But apparently, so here's the thing. We've been talking a lot about the movie side of things. Because as we all know, Warner Brothers Discovery is going to split into two separate companies, Warner Brothers and Discovery. Discovery Global specifically. So Warner Brothers, as we've mentioned many a times, that's the studio, the streaming, HBO, a lot like a more of the higher brow TV network stuff. That's all going into Warner Brothers, and then Discovery Global, that's pretty much all their TVs, like TNT, I think TBS, I think Turner Classic Movies, all that shit. That's going into Discovery Global. Now, with that, we've been talking about the money side. Now, as we all know, Paramount wanted everything because in Discovery Global, there was also CNN, which is owned by Warner Brothers right now. And a lot of people claim that, you know, a certain somebody wants to own the news because of another certain someone. So, there's that. However, well, Netflix was only interested in the movie side of things because a lot of the debt that Warner Brothers has is with the cable network stuff because, cable networks are kind of dying right now. So, there's that. And then with all of that, Comcast, aka NBC Universal, aka Universal, they and Netflix only wanted the movie side of things while Paramount wanted everything. And with all this, we were talking about so much about the movie side. What about Discovery Global? Who's going to own that? Are they still going to just stay their own separate network? Are they going to, or their own separate company? What's the deal with them? Well, we did hear a little bit about the TV side of things. Apparently, a hedge fund reportedly in talks to purchase WBD cable assets, including TNT. A New York-based hedge fund, Standard General, has been in discussions with Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, with all this, what does that mean? Well, Sue Kim, the founder of Standard General, has been in talks over potentially buying or investing in the WBD television networks. Standard General has a history of taking on distressed debt deals, having taken stakes in declining companies like Radio Shack in the past. The hedge fund also has a history of television network deals, having rolled up a series of similar local broadcast network groups before eventually selling them to Nexstar. In 2022, Standard General announced a $9 billion deal to purchase a major local broadcast group, Tegna, but the deal was terminated in 2023 after facing regulatory scrutiny. So whether this actually, goes through or not, it seems like these guys might be buying the cable stuff that's going to become Discovery Global, and then they're probably going to either sell it off to somebody else or, keep it for themselves. It's most likely sell it off because I can't imagine them keeping it. However, this wasn't the only thing. Something happened during all of during the bidding process. Apparently, Stars wanted to buy Discovery Global, what will become Discovery Global, in for $25 billion. Stars wanted to buy it. So the company also bid for 20% of the studio and streaming businesses, in addition to like Netflix and Paramount and Comcast wanting to buy either the movie stuff or everything. So they're one of the station owners who took yeah, exactly. Like but the thing is, Nexstar isn't owning it's Standard General. Now, I'm not saying that's a better thing, but Nexstar isn't even a part of this. I just mentioned what the hedge fund tried to deal with them in regards to they essentially buy broadcast networks, deal with them, and then sell them to somebody else. So whatever that but yeah. So Stars wanted to buy the cable networks for $25 billion in addition to 20% of the studio and streaming businesses that Netflix will soon own. Yeah, he's better on the business side of things. Apologies, he's on the road right now, so he can't do this. But I'm sure maybe tomorrow he'll be back on the show and he'll give a better in-depth analysis. I apologize. I know DC stuff. I'm on here for DC stuff and pop culture stuff and to rant about Tom King. I'm not here for business side of this is the stuff he likes to talk about because he's more knowledgeable than I am. I apologize for that, but this is just the information I'm giving you right now. I'm sure he'll give a good analysis of all this later on. So getting might mean all this basic kid. I don't get, honestly, same. But yeah, so it's just all you need to know. Stars, like as in Stars, is one of the competitors of HBO. Kind of like Cinemax and Showtime is another one. Like HBO was kind of the one that started it all, but Showtime, Stars, Cinemax, Epics. Well, it used to be called Epics, but now I think it's different. And then a couple. Those are all like the higher brow cable networks that are like, that are like that also show movies all day. So yeah. Um I appreciate that, guys. I'm just saying. I just wish I could give you a better analysis of all this, but this happened during the major bidding process, but it wasn't really reported on because it was not seen as important. So, you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, let's move on from the Warner Brothers Discovery stuff, since I know you guys don't really like talking about that anyway. But let's move on to, of course, MCU Weekly, guys, because we have a lot to talk about in regards to that. However, I do have to blow my nose because it is very stuffy. I apologize. Sorry about that. Anyway, so now we move on to MCU Weekly. But as we all know, thanks to the wonderful little leak of the Doomsday trailer that's going to appear in front of Avatar Fire and Ash, Chris Evans returns for the next Avengers film, and it seems like, they're backtracking and all of that. So yeah, it seems like this is all but official that, he's coming back and he's gonna have a kid. And we did talk about this the other day, but this is kind of like a more official report from Variety. So, um, you know, I think this, I don't know, it's just I mean, we've talked about this at length, but it all just seems it just seems like with Doomsday, like every move is the wrong move. I feel like I'm sure that it'll still make tons of money, but it just feels like every move is the wrong move. And I wish, you know, uh there was no trailer. Yes, Hunter Eggy. Sorry, we missed it. Yes, we will be talking about that for DCU Daily. So stay tuned. We're going to be talking about that on if James Gunn stays or goes when WB is sold. So we're going to be talking about that. Don't worry. Um, you know, uh, yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But the thing is, the problem is they're still heavily in debt. So, the marketing has been on. Why not just release these trailers on YouTube? Way more publicity. Because I think it's trying to get more people to go see Avatar. Whether that's like, oh, because Avatar is this, we can make a shit ton of money for this, but now we can make more money from this. But it could also mean that that Fox, Disney owned Fox, doesn't have a lot of faith in Avatar Fire and Ash to reach 2 billion. So they're like, you know what, put the fucking Doomsday trailers in front of it so it can get like some money. Um, yeah, maybe, but we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about that soon. Saw Avatar, the Avengers Doomsday tease was just a countdown tease. Okay, so obviously, I'll let you guys know tomorrow because I do want to see the trailers. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. But yeah, but this is what people were talking about. I want my money back. Marvel fans leave Avatar 3 screenings disappointed by no Avengers Doomsday trailers. Some fans have been left disappointed after attending Avatar Fire and Ash midnight screenings, hoping to see the first teaser for Avengers Doomsday. Avatar Fire and Ash arrives in theaters this weekend, and while the third installment spelled wrong, in James Cameron's blockbusting sci-fi saga didn't need to give audiences any additional incentive to show up. The decision to debut the first teaser trailer for Marvel Studios' Avengers Doomsday ahead of the movie certainly hasn't hurt anticipation. In fact, more than a few Marvel fans purchased tickets just to catch a glimpse of some footage from the next MCU event film and have left their screenings disappointed. When there was no sign of the teaser, Disney kicked off Fire and Ash's international rollout with midnight screenings on Wednesday, but it seems certain theaters in parts of Europe and South America are not showing trailers. So, yeah, a lot of Europeans are very upset that the Doomsday trailer did not show. So some theaters are screening the Doomsday trailer. Of course, it's been leaked online, but fans are probably better off waiting to see Avatar 3 over the weekend if they want to be certain to see it. In related news, Avengers Doomsday has been secured a release date in Japan, where it will arrive in theaters day and date with the US on December 18th. So that's very interesting. So yeah, the reason that you guys are probably not seeing it is because most likely it's Thursday previews. So if you guys have seen Avatar Fire and Ash today, then you probably aren't going to be seeing because it's Thursday previews. Obviously, we'll see for the official opening day. I mean, I don't really fucking care if I see the Doomsday trailer or not. I just want to get through this fucking movie as quick. Like, I'm going to be spending 4 hours in a goddamn movie tomorrow, in a movie theater tomorrow. So I just want to get the shit over with. But I also want to tell you guys and see how this all goes. But all right, Kevin, let's not get into that. This whole putting the Doomsday teasers only in theaters is already backfiring badly. Those leaks aren't going to stop soon. Shaking my head. I liked Avatar, but it was the most formulaic of the three. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been hearing. It's essentially, if you liked Avatar and Avatar Way of Water, you're gonna like Avatar Fire and Ash. If you didn't like this movie, if you didn't like Avatar Way of Water, this movie is not going to sway you. So this will probably be the last Avatar movie I will ever watch, unless James Cameron makes Avatar 4 like 90 minutes. Then I'll go see it. But exactly. That's the whole thing. So it's yeah, it's like the whole thing with the first one is like Fern Gully with with blue people. The second one is what terrorism with I don't know, like what would be Way of Water? It's like what Fern Gully again, but with Fern Gully again, but with blue people, and then the third one is Passport Bro, the movie, essentially. If I could remember one, I would tell you, because I fucking don't remember anything about those movies, as most people don't. So yeah, all good. Here we are. But yeah, that's probably why you guys didn't see it. Now we have more Avatar Fire and Ash stuff. Or not Avatar, sorry, Avengers Doomsday stuff. Sorry, Jesus Christ. Now I'm thinking about if Avatar Fire and Ash, the one time where I don't. Anyway, so Avengers Doomsday has been given a bizarre new title in Brazil, sparking fan backlash. Beyond the expected translation, it's rare for a movie's title to be completely changed when it opens overseas. Still, there's the odd exception here and there, even in English-speaking countries. For example, The Avengers became Avengers Assemble in the UK in 2012 due to a potential conflict with the 1960s TV series of the same name. For the most part, though, this only happens when the meaning of a certain word is lost in translation. That's made it all more confusing for fans in Brazil, who are questioning why Avengers Doomsday has been renamed Avengers Doctor Doom, aka Vingadores do Destino in Portuguese. In Japan, the movie style has been altered, but it still has the same general meaning. Translates it, the Japanese characters translates roughly to Avengers Judgment Day. All right, ripping off Terminator 2 a little bit there. Many Brazilian fans have expressed frustration with Avengers Doctor Doom, joking that Disney should have called Avengers Infinity War Avengers Thanos. It's also deemed a lazy swap and one that loses out on the deeper meaning as to why it's been called Avengers Doomsday in the first place. This week, it's been widely reported that part of the movie's plot will revolve around a literal countdown to Doomsday, aka the MCU's final incursion and the destruction of the multiverse. So, yeah, I feel bad for Brazilian fans that they have to deal with this because it seems like a very stupid name change. Unless like Doomsday really means something that offensive in Portuguese, I can't imagine that this, is why there would be such a major change. I'm the kind of guy who hates when critics give negative reviews for movies that are similar to previous ones without really discussing if they're actually done well on its own merits. It works. Way of Water is Free Willy in space. Sure, let's go with that. Doctor Doom, hasta la vista, Richards. The story is formulaic always, even the first one was. However, they're so well executed. I mean, I guess it's just like I don't mind formulaic movies because I mean, um, the Snack Shack is, you could say that that's a pretty formulaic movie, but the raw emotion that it gives you is still very, very well done. I guess that's different for everybody, and like how it changes you emotionally, because that's what it could really mean. So yeah, it's whatever it is, it's neither here nor there. I'm still gonna fucking see the movie. I'm still giving fucking, James Cameron my money. So I guess who's the real winner here, right? So anyway, sorry to Brazilian fans about this, but hopefully we get a good movie, which we probably won't. But that's neither here nor there. Wonder Man clip. Simon Williams makes an invaluable acquaintance in new look at Marvel's next Disney Plus series. So as we all know, they're gonna be, doing all of this. It's just like yet another clip of Trevor Slattery. That's all it is. It's just yet another clip of Simon Williams, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, meeting Sir Ben Kingsley, who's playing Trevor Slattery. Before returning for a memorable supporting turn with all of that. So yeah, it's cool. It's with all of this, I'm not going to be playing that because, I don't want to get demonetized. But the clip is online if you guys want to go see it. But yeah, it's just them talking about random shit, and yeah, it's nothing too special. It shows that Marvel has like absolutely no faith in this, similar to Ironheart. They just do not fragging care about this. Well, I mean, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, time shit is very weird. Because that's the problem with these fucking movies is the time travel. Time travel is weird in and of itself, but the way that um it's presented, it's like, oh, it's multiverse, but it's not, but it is. It's just like they wanted to have their cake and eat it too, of like, we want to do this thing with time travel, but we don't want to fuck up the MCU canon, so we're doing both. And that was one of my biggest problems with Endgame, is that their use of time travel was really, really fucking stupid. So, and it like breaks the entire movie. It's like the whole thing with like don't breathe, with like, oh, how the fuck does he have a kidnapped girl in his basement if he's blind? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So thanks for the super chat though. It's just but the thing is, with time travel, like, even if we're talking about the basic function of time travel, he could have lived through a whole life, but then Doctor Doom, after the events of all that, goes back to change it, and then it fucks up the entire multiverse anyway, and we don't get those events in Endgame. So it's a whole, oh god, I hate time travel sometimes. But yeah. I love the Iron Man 3 twist, but I'll tap, yeah. What I'm gonna show that would be just would just be canceled end of season if cable TV. 12 Monkeys is my favorite version of time travel, so bleak yet logical. I mean, I love Back to the Future, like shit like that, but like, it's just with how they do it here is just very, very dumb. With the whole thing in regards to Chris Evans showing up, the time travel, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But they're like trying to make it work, but it just doesn't. But obviously, we'll see when the movie starts. We'll see what happens. Well, I'm not. You guys see what happens. I'm not seeing that shit. But all right, fuck you, man. If Doom is coming after Steve because he caused incursions, why didn't he hunt down Spider-Man and Doctor Strange as well, since they technically caused incursions as well? Because Marvel's dumb. I think that's a good enough reason. But now we have rumors. So, still talking about Avengers Doomsday. We're going to talk about the final battle, where Secret Wars leads, and Spider-Man Brand New Day. So we are going to be putting a little bit of a spoiler warning. So if you don't want to be spoiled, we have our little spoiler warning up here because we can't put it down there because Dan loves his ticker. He loves his ticker, even though nobody fucking reads that, but he wants us to make it more like official and shit. So we have our ticker, so we have to put a spoiler alert warning up here. So anyway, so with all this, teaser trailer was released. We know that. But James Mack, a scooper we don't really talk about that much, has just dropped some bold claims about Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Mack claims that Avengers Doomsday Final Battle takes place in the Void, and that we'll see a bunch of Captain America variants in the metaphysical dimension located at the end of time. It also sounds like Richard E. Grant's classic Loki will return. He adds that while Doctor Doom and Tony Stark are not connected, we will see Iron Man in the next Avengers movie. Moving on to Secret Wars, Mac promises a Scarlet Witch / Wiccan reunion and says Kate Bishop has a pretty big role alongside the MCU's other young heroes. I mean, that's what the fake concept art was saying, that there was going to be a lead into Champions, if that's still happening, so we'll see that. The new T'Challa, meanwhile, will allegedly be one of the movie's main protagonists. So, as in like Black Panther's son, T'Challa, the new T'Challa, the little kid that was in Wakanda Forever. Over to Cosmic Circus, who is they're mostly miss, but we'll see. And Alex Perez, who's the head honcho of that site, has shared an interesting think piece about Sadie Sink's mysterious Spider-Man Brand New Day role. Casting calls reportedly describe the Stranger Things star character as a sharp and free-spirited woman with a mysterious past who is strong-willed, intelligent, and not easily intimidated. Perez theorizes that she could be playing Typhoid Mary, given her ties to Weapon 9 and Damage Control, and writes, one rumor I had heard from a source regarding the whole Mutant Saga storyline is that it will eventually be revealed that the United States has been conducting the Weapons Plus program for many years in the DCU. It's a nice theory, but there's a lot of guesswork here, as is often the case with Perez's scoops. Still, the piece goes on to say the next Spider-Man movie features hallucination-type sequences involving multiple characters, not just Peter Parker. Well, the big problem with this is that Typhoid Mary is already in the MCU. Alice Eve's character in Iron Fist was Typhoid Mary. So unless they're doing a new, different Typhoid Mary, then I feel like this rumor holds no water, and Cosmic Circus is known for making up shit. So we'll see, but I still put the spoiler alert just in case. But yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. Yep, closed loops. Sarah Connor has John with Kyle because John sent, yeah. Oh, well, almost like a bootstrap paradox a little bit. But yeah. To cause an incursion, I guess. Porking Haley Atwell is causing an incursion, I guess. So, yes. Tenet was also closed loop time travel. I liked Iron Fist. I liked season 1, at least. I never saw season 2, but I liked season 1. Fuck off. Okay. But yeah, Shathra remains the most likely option for Sync's character, especially what we saw in the movie's leaked trailer. Some social media supers could continue pointing the finger at Jean Grey. Let's hope that's not the case. But it's going to take a lot for this movie to make that make sense. As you can see below, Daniel Richtman has made a pretty wild claim about another Spider-Man Brand New Day cameo. But there is another Netflix character in Spider-Man Brand New Day, beside Punisher in the Hand, and no, it's not Daredevil. So there's that as well. So yeah, so many rumors. Some can work, some don't. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, speaking of Daredevil Born Again season 2 stills reveal first look at Jessica Jones and more. So, yeah. Just by the nature of who Jessica is and who Matt is, they both give as much as they get. I'm not sure we were aware of it when we were shooting it, so we've been really waiting for this opportunity for so long now to put these two on screen together and have more fun with them. Charlie Cox noted we both talked about it being important to play some of the hits, as it were, make sure that we have that same dynamic, tongue in cheek, take the piss out of each other, but also get down to business and make sure that we're serving the story appropriately. A lot of heavy themes, a lot of dark moments, tragic events, revolutionary, blah blah blah. Karen Page is badass, even though she's always has been, but whatever. But yeah, here we have a first look at Kristen Ritter looking the same and as beautiful as ever, with Charlie Cox's Daredevil now in kind of a fucked up red suit, but now it's kind of peeling off and revealing the black. So maybe he goes more into the black. So we'll see. And then we also have it looks like Matthew Lillard's character in Daredevil Born Again, in addition to Vincent D'Onofrio and Ayelet Zurer as Vanessa. And then more of this, in addition to Lily Taylor in Born Again Season 2, and then Charlie Cox and Karen Page with her red haircut. We did see this in the behind the scenes way back when they started to film Season 2. So, but yeah, those are the new stills of Born Again. So get pumped for that if you are excited. So I'm nervous. Since I heard Season 1 was kind of lame. We'll see. But then we will get rid of this. And unfortunately, in our last MCU Weekly story, the Fantastic Four First Steps sets a very unfortunate MCU record on streaming. It's been over a month since the Fantastic Four First Steps arrived on Disney following its July theatrical debut. And while it performed well at the box office, it didn't fare as well on streaming, as it was reported that First Steps set the record for the worst MCU debut. Not a good look, considering this feature was the first entry of Phase 6 of the MCU, setting up the events for Avengers Doomsday. According to recent Nielsen data, the Fantastic Four First Steps generated over 4.9 billion views in its first 5 days on Disney Plus. In comparison, other MCU movies released this year, such as Captain America: Brave New World and Thunderbolts, fared better with 6.2 million and 5.5 million, respectively, despite them also underperforming at the box office. So while it isn't performing as well as its predecessors, First Steps outperformed the MCU's other 2025 movies at the box office, generating 521 worldwide. Only made 450. Well, Brave New World and Thunderbolts only made 415 and 382, respectively. Now, I think the reason for this is because more people actually went to go see Fantastic Four First Steps, because people were actually excited to see that and actually, knew of it. So more people went to go see First Steps, and because of that, not as many people wanted to see it on streaming. So hence the lower numbers. Meanwhile, nobody really went to go see Brave New World and Thunderbolts, so more people would see that on streaming. So obviously, more can be done with this, and we'll see. But yeah, actually, but not as rewatchable a movie. Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't feel bad for Disney because fuck Disney. So whatever. But yeah, that's my theory. But hey, that's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching. But that is it for MC Weekly. Now we're gonna move on to something a little bit quicker, and that's the quick hits, guys. Let's move on to those wonderful quick hits. Get the rock and roll elevator music into this bitch, and let's move on to more Avatar talk. Because James Cameron disputes Matt Damon's viral claim of turning down 10% of Avatar. The director says Damon's claim that he turned down 10% of Avatar to play Jake Sully isn't exactly true. It wouldn't have happened. He doesn't have to beat himself up anymore. But if you don't know the famous story, Matt Damon was called by James Cameron to, hey, star in this movie as Jake Sully. We'll give you 10% of the box office. He said no, which resulted in... which had, Matt Damon missing out on allegedly the biggest payday in movie history. So, but Cameron says something a little bit different. Cameron says he was never offered the part. I can't remember if I sent him the script or not. I don't think I did. Then we wound up on a call and he said, "I'd love to explore doing a movie with you. I have a lot of respect for you as a filmmaker. Avatar sounds intriguing, but I really have to do this Jason Bourne movie. I've agreed to it. It's a direct conflict, and so regretfully, I have to turn it down." But he was never offered. There was never a deal. We never talked about the character. We never got to that level. It was simply an availability issue. Now what he's done is he's extrapolated, I get 10% of the gross on my films, and if in his mind that's what it would have taken for him to do Avatar, then it wouldn't have happened. Trust me on that. So he's off the hook, and he doesn't have to beat himself up anymore. Cameron playfully adds, Matt, it's okay, buddy. You didn't miss anything. Cameron added that he respects Damon and thought it was classy of the actor to reach out, and noted that turning down a movie due to a prior commitment is an ethical move. He felt compelled to call me personally and tell me. He said he didn't want it to come from the agent. That's an honorable guy. So all respect to Matt. I'd love to work with him someday, but that never happened. It was a conflation of different things that were happening. So essentially what this all means is James Cameron never offered the part to Matt Damon, but Matt Damon got sent the script, and Matt Damon eventually called James Cameron saying, hey, script is great, but I have to do Jason Bourne. At the time, I think it was Bourne Ultimatum. So he's like, I got to do this instead. James Cameron said, okay, that's fine. And Matt Damon said the 10% thing, but that's his own thing. That's his own clause in his contract that he has to take 10% of the box office take from all his movies. So he got the 10% thing from what his own clause is and not what James Cameron offered him. So, you know, with all of this, James Cameron still likes Matt Damon, still respects him, would love to do a movie with him, but Matt Damon was never offered the deal, and the 10% thing that he got was from his own clause in his contract, not from what James Cameron offered him. So James Cameron's like, hey, you don't have to worry about that. You were never offered. We never offered you a 10% deal, so calm down a bit. But anyway, that's just James Cameron giving credence to the viral claims and disputing them. Yeah. Probably won't happen now because you're calling him a liar. But that's Cameron dunking on Damon is absolute. I don't think he's dunking on him. He's just clarifying statements. That's all. Yeah. But anyway, moving on to the next thing. Jonathan Bailey is changing Hollywood as 2025's top grossing actor, considering he was part of two big box office accomplishments with Jurassic World Rebirth and Wicked for Good. So just between those two, my man got a heavy box office record breaking whatever the fuck. So between those two movies, boom, top grossing actor. Congrats, man. So Jonathan Bailey, I think he's a really good actor. He's a very attractive actor, so I hope he gets a ton of better roles and not, you know, the fucking 17th Jurassic World movie and the mediocre follow-up to a box office phenomenon. So, you know, I wish the best for him. But Jesse Buckley. Okay, I know Jesse Buckley. Jonathan Bailey. He was Sam Worthington as Jake Scully. Yeah. Well, he is gay. So, I mean, if he's, you know, making all that money, it's like, hey, can I have a cut? I mean, I'll suck your dick. It's fine. Actually, I think he's married. I don't want to be a homewrecker. Never mind then. But, you know, you do you, Jonathan Bailey. I mean, he is the sexiest man alive. He's going to be the sexiest man alive for another year. So, we'll see. But yeah, I think that's great for him. I hope he is on his way to bigger and better things. Does John dance to go west? What the fuck does that mean? But congrats. Anyway, Apple TV and Legendary expand MonsterVerse universe with Young Lee Shaw series starring Wyatt Russell. Joby Harold seals overall deal with Legendary to oversee the company's entire MonsterVerse franchise on Apple TV. So if you didn't know about the MonsterVerse TV stuff, well, there you go. We're getting another show out of it, and it's going to focus on specifically Wyatt Russell instead of Legacy of Monsters, which is mainly the present day stuff. So yeah, cool. Congrats. I don't watch either. I've heard that Legacy of Monsters is good, though. Next up, in terms of TV, Jason Isaacs latest to join Amazon's Tomb Raider series. I'm very sorry about that, buddy, because you deserve better. Matthew McConaughey and Zoe Saldana to star in romantic caper Positano from Netflix, working title and tuner director Daniel Roher. So congrats for them. I'm probably not going to watch this because Netflix sucks. So yeah, cool, but not going to watch it. Anyway, Beat the Reaper series from Sam Catlin and starring Will Poulter set at Apple TV, based on a book. Sounds intriguing. Maybe watch it, maybe won't. Next up, Sol Rodriguez and Lulu Safran set psychedelic vampire home invasion horror movie Ilomin, or Iomin. I think that's an I and two L, so Iomin. I'd watch it just for Sol Rodriguez. She's hot, so why not? Anyway, Love Island, the movie, ITV America set I's feature film version of reality series. So it's just annoying, attractive, stupid people being annoying and attractive for fucking 90 minutes. Wow, isn't that fucking interesting? I bet it'll make $1 billion. 2027 might be the... Oh, what was that? Hang on a sec. But yeah, like Love Island being fucking, stupid. But yeah. Then what was this next thing? I didn't realize it was a Reddit thing. Hang on. So there we go. Okay. But apparently 2027 might be the first year with 10 movies with $100 million openings. This the year with the most movies to make $100 million in their opening weekend is I assume that's 2022, with 8 movies: Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2, Jurassic World 3, Thor 4, Avatar 2, The Batman, Top Gun 2, Minions 2, and looking at 2027, it could beat that and maybe even hit 10. These are the movies how I see them and their chances. Again, this is just from some random guy. Avengers Secret Wars, The Batman Part 2, Minecraft Movie 2, Avengers 5, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Man of Tomorrow, Frozen 3, most likely is Legend of Zelda, 50-50, Star Wars Starfighter, Godzilla X Kong Supernova, unlikely but possible, Sonic the Hedgehog 4, definitely not, How to Train Your Dragon, definitely not, and then Bluey the movie. Unannounced movies that are possible is Demon Slayer, Infinity Castle Part 2. So I don't think all of these are I don't even think Secret Wars is guaranteed. So, 100 million? Maybe. Who knows? Well, I mean, most... Oh, come on. Don't get at me. Even fucking Netflix... Most Netflix movies suck dick. Like, sure, Frankenstein was amazing, but that had Guillermo del Toro attached. Or they have, like, the Coen brothers or something like that. There are good movies made on Netflix, but it's usually by a big filmmaker that it's unfortunately designated to Netflix because they can't get distribution deals with other corporations. So, do you think the competition of summer 2025 will cause maybe, who knows? I mean, we all thought like Superman was going to get like tons and tons of money when that wasn't the case. So, we'll see. But yeah. Next up, Gen Z movie theater attendance rises 25% in 2025. Cinema United. Yeah, because you had Chainsaw Man, you had Minecraft movie, you had Demon Slayer, you had Wicked. Like you had all these big movies that people liked and they were going to see. So mostly the anime stuff, but it's yeah. So yeah. That's not surprising at all. But Game Awards 2025 set new record, delivering whopping 171 million live streams worldwide. Viewing figure does not include Amazon's Prime Video, but good for them. The Game Awards was pretty awesome because they actually gave a game, the Game of the Year award to something that actually deserved it. So congrats to them. Then Sinners dominates with record 21 Black Reel Awards nominations. Congrats to them. Then It Welcome to Derry scores series high audience for gruesome season 1 finale, which was 6.5 million viewers across HBO and HBO Max within the first 3 days of availability, says Warner Brothers Discovery. So that's a 12% lift from the last episode. So congratulations to It Welcome to Derry. I still need to finish the show. I'm on episode 6 right now, so I still have the rest of episode 6 and then 7 and 8 to watch. Then finally, Taylor Swift's Last to the End of an Era episode, get the fuck out of here, get bumped up to pre-Christmas air date. So the End of the Era will go up on the service early on the morning of the 23rd rather than the 26th as previously expected. So if you really cared about that, then there you go, 23rd. Anyway, that's it for Quick Hits. Thanks for watching. None of that. But yeah, next up we have DCU Daily. So we're going to get into that, but thanks for watching the news portion of the show. Now we're going to be getting into DCU Daily proper, so stay tuned for that. Let's get right into it and be hashtag blessed.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see
right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go.
Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all on the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Hunka hunka.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to DCU Daily. I am, of course, your host, as always, John. Nice to see you. We are going to be getting into DCU proper now. Let's get that ticker. Let's get that. That ticker. Ooh, that ticker, baby. Let's go. But yeah, it's indeed DC time. But we are going to be getting into immediately. We're going to be getting into those quick hits. We have one quick hit, just one little quick hit, but that's okay. Not a ton of DCU news today, but apparently, if you guys are really excited for this, guys, Batman and Joker from Batman Beyond are coming to Fortnite. Aren't you excited? So yeah, that's our one quick hit. Batman Beyond coming to Fortnite, because they really just need to get every single fucking character into Fortnite. And then Call of Duty will copy that by getting more characters into Call of Duty. So yeah, great. The guy Fortnite. Yay. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So excited. That will be the first skins I'll ever buy. I'm used to the Oh Curious highlighted yellow. What? Anyway. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Cool. Anyway, next up we have on one little bit of What Did Gunn Say? Apparently our boy loved Song Sung Blue. The Man of Tomorrow crew and I went to see My Brew Tube's Song Sung Blue last night, and every one of us loved it. It's a heart-riveting film that doesn't talk down to anyone, and a testament to how great Neil Diamond's music is. Kate Hudson just blew me away, and Hugh Jackman was fantastic too. Yeah, it does look a little bit weird on the screen because apparently Threads is like not working for me. I don't know if it's just me because I don't have an account, or if like the site is broken, so we had to just give it to you through this. But yeah, I don't know if he posted a picture or not, but yeah, I mean, it looked like a cute, endearing little music biopic. It's like, hey, we can't afford to do a Neil Diamond biopic. Let's do one about a Neil Diamond cover band, because that's cool, I guess. But in all seriousness, it looks like a cute movie. It looks very cute. All right. Of course, James Gunn would go to a movie with Neil Diamond music. You know, I love Neil Diamond. He had great songs. Love Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson. But yeah, if you cared about that, then there you go. Hell yeah. Way to go. Anyway, now let's move on to Supergirl news, because we have a little bit of that before we end the show today. Supergirl stuff. Now, what Supergirl stuff do we have? Well, it's new details about Lobo. We are talking about Lobo's debut, live action, big screen debut, following recent test screenings. But the first test screening for Supergirl took place earlier this week. We did talk about it, I think, yesterday. It sounds like the movie is good, but perhaps it needs a few changes before the Maiden of Might lands in theaters next summer. That's the whole point of test screenings, of course, though we're not sure what DC Studios can do about it. The underwhelming villain, Creme of the Yellow Hills, and what's been described as a bland color palette. I could tell you that. As many fans feared after watching the trailers, it may fail to do Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow's artist Bilquis Evely's comic book work justice. We'll see what happens, but every reaction we've seen has suggested Millie Alcock and Jason Momoa are excellent as Kara Zor-El and Lobos, respectively. According to the latest test screening leak from My Time to Shine, take it with a grain of salt, Lobo has a supporting role in Supergirl, with the anti-hero set to cross paths with the Kryptonian while he's on a bounty hunt. He ends up helping Superman's cousin, while Momoa is said to be amazing in the role. Recently, DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran elaborated on the decision to cast the Aquaman star despite his history in the DCU. Well, it's Jason Momoa. Talk about a great fit. In real life, he is Lobo, so it's a perfect fit. You kind of want actors that are volunteers and not recruits, and he was volunteering to be Lobo. He just wanted to do it. Momoa came in, we shot in England, and he just crushed it. He brought exactly what we wanted to it, and he made it his own as well. The former Arthur Curry actor has described Lobo as the role I've always wanted to play. That's the comic I love, so I'm really nervous about it. It's kind of a no-brainer to play this character. It's really big. I don't want to give away too much, but I mean, we look pretty dead on, exactly like the character, and he's pretty much rough and gruff, and I'll say the bike's really cool. So, yeah, I'm fucking stoked for this. Like, even if the movie sucks, we can guarantee that Millie Alcock will be probably great, and then Lobo will, of course, be great, because this quite literally is the character that Jason Momoa was born to play. So you say what you will. You could say the movie's bad. You could say the DCU is bad. You could say James Gunn is bad. You could be mad that Arthur Curry, we'll never see Jason Momoa as Arthur Curry again, but you can't be mad that Jason Momoa is Lobo and him playing Lobo, because that is just perfect casting right there. But yeah, great to see, awesome to see. Love it. Jason Momoa is really the only man that could play. Like, if there was, I hope so. I hope so. So, like, because I mean, that's the point of test screenings. It's letting people know, like, hey, this is what we have so far. Let us know what the problems are, and there you go. Boom. Awesome. Perfect. But yeah, obviously, we do have a little bit more in regards to DC news. But the final bit in regards to all of this is I talked about this earlier in the show, and I'm going to talk about it here. So with all of that, I think it's time to talk about what is James Gunn's role in the Warner Brothers Discovery acquisition, because some people were talking about it. We were talking about it before, how Netflix pretty much all but has bought the actual company at this point, apparently shoving it in David Ellison's face and whatnot. But yeah, I think a lot of people are questioning this, because I think a lot of people are saying, oh, well, James Gunn is going to be gone. Oh no, James Gunn is definitely coming back. What is the deal here? Well, in terms of all of this, now we did get John Campea stated that James Gunn is staying, but obviously we'll see. What lower third? We don't have one for that. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. I didn't see that because all the fucking things are microscopic. Even with my glasses, it's hard to see. God damn. Anyway, we're not going to be talking about this that long. Yeah. This test screening leak sounds just like people were saying from the trailers, but hope they had some cosmic color into it, because that's not a big deal. Maybe they add scenes for Krem. Well, they can't add scenes for Krem because he's fucking, Matthias Schoenaerts had to fucking drive without a license, so he's gonna be in prison for a bit because he's an idiot. So But anyway, so what did all this say? Now, Netflix essentially confirmed that, yeah, James Gunn is most likely going to stay. Netflix and Warner Brothers have complementary businesses, which is why we plan to continue operating them independently with the teams that currently run them, aka James Gunn and Peter Safran, in addition to Pam Abdi and Michael DeLuca for the Warner Brothers side of things. We'll also keep growing our long-term investment in original films and series and expanding U.S. production capacity. Over the last 4 years, we've contributed over $125 billion to the U.S. economy and hired more than 140,000 cast and crew members, filming across all 50 states. With Warner Brothers, we'll be able to do even more. Over the last few weeks, as news about this merger began to go public, all indications were that James Gunn's DC Studios would remain safe from any major changes in operations. This means that Gunn and DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran will stay in their current positions, and none of their plans will be adjusted. While one last DC project is being released at the end of 2025, Gunn and Safran have a hefty slate of projects in their Elseworlds and Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters slates. So, yeah. with all of this going on, it's pretty much all but confirmed that James Gunn is going to be staying on as, the head of DC Studios, at least for a little while, at least until 2027, because that's when his contract, him and Peter Safran's contract has extended to, because originally it was the end of 2026, and then they expanded another about 6 months, which would be the start of production on Man of Tomorrow. So I can imagine at the very least, Man of Tomorrow is most likely safe, but anything after that we don't know, and Batman Part 2. So 2026 and 2027 are pretty much safe. So even if Netflix changes their mind, which they could, then we have at least the next 2 years of James Gunn produced projects for DC Studios and the new DCU. So for all the Bass Reeves and Yashes and all the people that are like, oh no, restore the Snyderverse. The Snyderverse is coming back. It's all this shit. That's not the case. James Gunn is staying for at least the next couple of years. Exactly, because I mean, Ted Sarandos, it might be a prick. I still don't like that Netflix is gonna be owning Warner Brothers. But at the end of the day, I think again, I did say when I was initially really angry about the Netflix news, and I still kind of am, not as much anymore. Like the anger has kind of gone off a bit, but it's better than Paramount. I did say Paramount was better at one point because of the theatrical thing, but then when I did more research about the whole Paramount thing, why David Ellison wants it that badly, it's very fucked up reasons as to why. So I'll take Netflix. Now, Comcast was the best one, but Netflix seems to be a slightly better thing. So we'll see. Yes, indeed. How to watch along with a great channel. She watched Wonder Woman. She said they should bring back Henry Cavill as Superman. That's funny. Yeah, but we shall see. So for right now, James Gunn is okay. So Bass Reeves, if you're watching, the Snyderverse is not getting restored anytime soon. So eat a dick. Or Harbinger's another one. Oh, the Snyderverse is getting restored. Yeah, no, it's not. No, it's not. So shut the fuck up. Yeah. I mean, he was. Was he a good Superman? No, but he was hot. But hey, so is David Cornsweet. So shut the fuck up. Anyway, definitely the Wonder Woman movie. Hopefully, Dan, yes, greenlit and cast. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. But that is about it for DCU Daily. Yeah, I'm sorry. There was not a ton of DCU stuff today, but we'll talk about more Lantern stuff, and then I get to rage more about it. And then whatever else is going to be it. But that's it. And no 15 shows today or anything. But I did want to bring this up really quickly. I did want to bring this up. Hang on, let me do something real quick because I did want to bring up the poll for Fancast Friday because it looks like we have an overwhelming choice for the next poll for Fancast Friday. And now you probably did see that we're going to be doing try to do hot take debate tomorrow. Going to try and do more Q&A stuff. So keep that in mind. But we also have, this is the poll for Fancast Friday. So I just realized I said choose widely instead of choose wisely. Whoops. Anyway, not what I meant, but I can't change it now. Oh, well. But it looks like ScarJo and Wonder Woman director will be staying on unless you guys, change that. But the X-Men MCU reboot is going to be the Fancast Friday for tomorrow. Now, I did want to tell you guys, I do have, it's right here. It's right here on this notepad. You can't see it, but I have it. The information is right here. right there. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm telling you guys now, and I'm going to reiterate for Fancast Friday tomorrow and on DCU Daily tomorrow. But what we are going to be doing is I'm going to just have an X-Men team. I'm presenting my X-Men team for the MCU, and then I'm going to cast that team. I'm not going to have multiple casting decisions. We will have some honorable mentions, but mostly it's just casting one person per role, because if we do anything more, it'll be like 2 hours long. And so I'm just going to be presenting a team and then casting that team. So it's going to be almost like a double fan cast Friday. It's like, oh, we're going to find out who I want to see in the MCU, in addition of what actors I want to see in the X-Men MCU reboot. So obviously we'll see, but that I'm just reiterating that for now. But anyway, thank you all for watching. But yes, X-Men wins. No hot takes other than cold flu bugs suck. That's going to be a lot of casting since there's so many. Yes, that's why I picked a team. I picked a team of 9. Well, I mean, spoiler alert, but Professor X is going to be part of it. He's the head of the team, so obviously he's going to be cast. But I have a team of 8, excluding Professor X. So I have 8 members, and then Professor X, so it's 9 people. So be pumped for that. Yes, we will be doing more. Hopefully, some more people post those. But yeah. But thanks for watching, guys. Love and appreciate all of you. You're going to be hashtag blessed from the beginning, hashtag blessed at the end, all of that fun stuff. So, and by the way, make sure to post your hot takes in the hot takes debate link right here. So it's below the other one. We only have 5. So guys, let's pump those numbers up. That's rookie numbers in this record. Let's get a lot more hot takes. The hottest hot takes you could possibly imagine about TV, TV streaming, movies, anything related to that. Not necessarily DC related, but try to do that. So make sure to have those hot takes in there. But that's it for today. We'll see y'all later, and we hope you have the rest of your Thursday is good. See you later.
It's another project that's been blessed from the beginning.
There's the shot right there. That.
Okay, we don't need to see.
Right there.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Now you want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Here we go. Victory mine. Ask me how am I doing? I'm telling you, really, I'm doing sublime. I never wait in a stewardess line. I just go do it. I'm moving my time. Really had nothing to do with it. How am I moving? I'm moving like you want to shine. Follow my lead. Don't listen to lies. I had to put me all in the line. That's why I know that victory's mine.
I prefer Jared Leto.
Honka honka!
Always remember, fuck Jeff Snyder and fuck Tom King.